So, Jessica, the tit-for-tat trade war dispute continues. China retaliates and announces its own tariffs against U.S. items. Can this really escalate? And what's the impact been on the market so far?
Thanks, Devin. Yes, absolutely. We should definitely see a continued escalation in the U.S.-China trade war, as we are seeing today. Like you mentioned, China has retaliated, come out and said that it will be raising tariffs on some U.S. imports by June 1st, starting June 1st there. Now, that follows the U.S.'s announcement on Friday that it would be imposing an additional 25% tariff on remaining Chinese imports. Now, that's about $300 billion in goods, quite a significant number there. This also follows Trump's tweet earlier today saying that China should not retaliate, yet China has retaliated. So really we're seeing a lot up in the air right now. A lot of investor concern. In terms of market impact, we're seeing U.S. equities tumble, commodities also in the red. The S&P 500 index down as much as 2.8% today on an intraday basis. Now, that is the biggest drop since December. And we're also seeing large companies like Boeing, Caterpillar, Apple down more than 4% today.
And you've mentioned Boeing there, Jessica. I want to just go deeper into that. Like you said, their shares being hit today. Is that primarily the cause of the decline?
Yes, so the primary cause of the decline is twofold today, I would say, Devin. So Boeing shares did hit that 4-month low, and I would say primarily on the back of the U.S.-China trade flare-up, I'd say. But also, interestingly enough, we had a tweet from the editor-in-chief of a Chinese tabloid called the Global Times come out and essentially warned that Boeing sales to China would be, quote, reduced. So that really sparked investors to sort of flee the stock there. We saw a lot of selling pressure because of that. Now, this editor-in-chief did tell Bloomberg later that this is his own opinion. It does not reflect the government's stance. However, it did impact the shares quite negatively.
All right, and then finally, that share price that listed, or share rather, that listed on Friday, Uber's IPO, its shares falling further today. What are the views on that stock?
Yes, Uber has been off to a rocky start after its IPO on Friday, essentially extending its decline on Friday today, down as much as 12% at one point there. Now, we had different analysts show skepticism about the stock, Wedbush Securities coming out and saying that this recent slump shows investor skepticism about the size of the ride-hailing market altogether, as well as Uber's ability to execute on its food and package delivery and push into the autonomous vehicle space. So a lot of skepticism around Uber and how it's going to perform in the future. Uber's CEO did come out and email its staff, also saying that its stock has not traded where he had hoped post-IPO. So we're going to have to continue to monitor that. We'll see what happens.
All right. Thanks very much indeed. Jessica Summers there with the latest on the U.S. markets from New York.